So you have a planner or journal that you just finished creating, you're ready to sell it, and now you're preparing for your launch. I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to do to prepare for your launch, and I'm going to share some stuff that no one typically tells you when you are about to start and launch a new planner or journal, so stay tuned. Of course, my name is Lashawnda Smith, and I am a content creator and content strategist, and I wish someone would have told me about what I needed to do when I was preparing for the launch. I watched so many YouTube videos on people launching their planners or whatever, and although it's very, very inspirational, one thing that I did notice is that a lot of people that were showing their planner launch or their journal launch, they had a lot of followers. Like, they either had a ton of subscribers or like they just had a very established community around them already. And so you will see the videos and they're like getting sales and like they're selling out on the first day. And don't get me wrong, like that's very encouraging, very inspirational. But the thing I ran into is, how do I prepare for my launch if I ain't got no following, if I ain't got no audience? And you may be in that position too. You're like, girl, the product is boss. Like, I love my products. I've created my planner. I've created my journal, but I ain't got nobody that I'm really launching to. And I really don't know what I need to be doing to launch this new product, especially if this is your first physical product. So that was the issue I ran into. I knew how to launch like services and digital products per se, but for physical products, I was like a fish out of water. So I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to do, whether you have an audience or even if you don't have an audience. You're like, girl, help me. What do I do if I don't have an audience? I got you. So in case you don't know, I actually just launched 2 new planners, the YouTube content planner and the podcast content planner. And I have a planner company called Brand Planner. So, and shameless plug, if you ain't got your planner yet and you're interested, I will put the pre-order link in the description box, so just check that out. But when I first started my planner company, I really didn't know what I was doing. So these different things are really going to help set you up whenever it is time for you to launch, because it's a lot. It's a lot that goes into launching, and there's a lot of tedious tasks that I wish I would have knew beforehand that I ended up having to backpedal with whenever I was actually in the process of launching. Okay, so I have my notes right here. The very first thing you need to do is create a launch plan. And this is what you need to make sure you include in your launch plan. You need to figure out if your launch is going to be for 30 to 60 days. The reason why I say 30 to 60 days is because it really depends on how big your audience is. If you have loyal followers that are consistently commenting and engaging on your content and you feel that you have a really good number of that, then you could probably get away with a 30-day launch. But if you starting brand new, if you don't even have a brand yet, like if your product is your new brand, then you're gonna need a good 60 days. Okay, you're gonna need a good 60 days. Why? Because you need to prep. You need to find your audience first. You need to find the people who would be a potential buyer. You need to start creating content. You need to give yourself a good 30 days to just build up your platforms with content before you ever start plugging your product. And then for the 30-day, after you do your first 30, your second 30 days is when you actually start in the sneak peek the planner, and you're actually starting to kind of warm them up to what you're about to release. You also need to find at least 3 to 5 ways that you are planning on marketing your new product. I would even argue that you might need to find 5 to 10 ways that you will market your product, depending on, how established you are online, what different things that you're already familiar with. But you need at least a minimum of 3 to 5 ways that you are going to push your product. So are you going to be making YouTube videos? Are you going to start a podcast? Are you going to be doing short form videos? What are you going to be doing to market your planner? Another good way that you can market is through speaking engagements. This is a really easy way for you to sell your planners and journals. If you do speaking engagements and you have the table in the back with your planners and journals, that's a great way for you to sell your planners and journals. Or maybe you just plan on being a vendor at different business events that's going on locally. That's another way that you can market your planners, but you need to know at least 3 to 5 ways that you plan on utilizing in order to market your new product. The next thing you need to figure out is how you're going to get your potential buyers in front of you. So this kind of goes into with the 3 to 5 different ways that you're going to market. They kind of go hand in hand. You need to know how you're going to get in front of new people. So if you don't have an audience, and let's say that you plan on promoting on Facebook and you have 30 Facebook friends, Even if you post consistently on Facebook, you're only promoting to 30 people. You see what I'm saying? So you really need to know, like, what is your strategy to get in front of new eyes? So whether that is through short form content, whether that is by doing interviews on different people's podcasts, or doing webinars or master classes, or running ads, you need to have a way of knowing what you're going to do in order to get in front of new eyes. And shameless plug, if you haven't already watched my video, one of the ways that I think that will be the easiest way for you to get in front of potential buyers is to start a YouTube channel. And I actually just did a video about the benefits of starting a YouTube channel if you are going to be releasing a new planner or journal. I will link it right here. Definitely check that video out, because I'll go into a lot of more detail about how to organically market your planner or journal through YouTube. After you figure out how you're going to be getting in front of new potential buyers, you also want to know what your primary platforms are going to be where you're going to be actively marketing your product. So is it going to be Instagram? Is it going to be in Facebook groups? Is it going to be on your podcast? Is it going to be on your YouTube channel? You need to know what your primary platforms are going to be, because eventually you're going to have to create a campaign, which is basically like your marketing strategy, the type of posts that you're going to be creating and things like that. But knowing what your main platforms are going to be is going to make it a lot easier for you to create your marketing plan. And the last thing in your launch plan is you need to create a buyer's avatar. This is crucial. You need to know who your buyer is, what their pain points are, what are they struggling with, what is this planner going to help solve for them. And you need to draw out who your avatar is. You need to know all the details about the person that's typically going to buy from you, because if you don't know who you're selling to, you ain't gonna sell nothing. You need to know who you're selling to so that you can know how to get in front of them. And you knowing who your ideal buyer is going to dictate what platforms you're going to be using as your primary platforms in the 3 to 5 ways that you're planning to market your planner. Now, after you created your launch plan, now we need to set some expectations. We need to do some goal setting. So the first thing you need to do is you need to pick your start and end date for your pre-orders. And please do pre-orders. Do pre-orders, especially if you don't have an audience, do pre-orders. You want to know when your start date is, so when your launch date is, when you're actually opening cart for people to purchase your planner or journal. And you need to know when you're ending your first open cart sale. So if you're doing pre-orders, you want to have the start date and the last day for them to do their pre-orders. Typically after pre-orders, then you can order your inventory, and then you're either going to always have inventory on hand, or you're going to do something called drops. So drops is when you typically do pre-orders and then you ship everything at the same time. So this is very helpful if you don't want to get stuck with a lot of inventory. That way you're purchasing your planners all at the same time and you're shipping them out at the same time, and you're only purchasing what you need based on the amount of pre-orders. Or if you're doing print on demand, then you don't even have to worry about this step. You just want to know when you're going to be launching your new product. The next thing you want to do is set revenue goals. So the revenue goals is one of those things that it may just be like my personal opinion, but take your revenue goals with a grain of salt, okay? Because you don't want to shoot too high and then you get really, really low results. And then you don't want to shoot too low and then you kind of give yourself the green light to like kind of half step the launch process. So you want to have 3 different tiers for your revenue goals. You want to have your minimum goal. So this is the minimum amount that you want to sell whenever you launch. You want to have your ideal goal. So this is the one that kind of make you be like, ugh, like I kind of want this, but I don't know if I'm gonna get it. But if I do get it, I'm gonna be really happy. And then you want to set your wow goal. So this is like, if you blew it out the park, like what would that number be? So you want to set 3 different goals for that. So that way you kind of have an idea of how your launch did, and you have 3 different revenue goals that you set for yourself. You also want to know if you're doing a hard launch or a soft launch. A hard launch is you going all in. Like all your platforms are going to be talking about this planner or this journal. You are going to be going hard for at least 3 to 6 weeks about converting over to buyers. You're going to be on everybody's podcast. You're going to be on everybody's stage. You're doing classes every week. Like you're doing the most. And I don't say that in a negative way, but if you've ever launched anything, you'll know what I'm talking about. Or are you doing a soft launch? A soft launch is like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm releasing this planner, but you're thinking more so of the long game. So you're not putting a lot of pressure on yourself. That's personally what I'm doing this time around. The first time around, I caught myself doing a hard launch. And even then, like, it was so much, I didn't even get to do everything that I was planning on doing. And then I didn't even like hit my sales goal because I was doing too much. But anyways, that's besides the point. This time around, I am doing a soft launch. So I'm taking a more evergreen approach. I'm not going hard in the paint on my social media platforms, plugging my planner every single day. I'm looking at my planner sales as a long-term vision where I know the more I build my platform, the more my planner sales are going to increase. So I'm just getting everything on the back end set up for me, and I'm slowly rolling out the promotions for my planners. So I would recommend you do a soft launch if you are working on building your audience. You could definitely do a hard launch if you already have a team behind you, if you already have a community, so you have like a good number of subscribers or followers already loyal to your brand. You could absolutely do a hard launch and you would probably sell out the very first day. But if you are starting new, do a soft launch. So that way you don't have to worry about all the pressure that comes with trying to do a hard launch and trying to, launch their crickets. You're doing all this work and then you're not even gonna make a lot of sales at the beginning. So that's just my recommendation. And that brings me to the next thing, and that is to set up the proper systems to help you sell your planners when you are actually launching. So this means setting up your website. I personally use Shopify and Wix. I have a Wix website. That's my website host for brand planners, and I plug in my Shopify store within my Wix website. So on my actual planner sales pages, the page that you see where you can actually purchase my planners, that is an embedded Shopify. I don't even know what to call it, but that portion is from Shopify, but the actual page is from Wix. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but you need to set up your website where people will be going and purchasing your product. You also need to get you a PO box. I didn't know about the PO box until I got my very first order when I first launched my planners last time, because like I said, this was my very first time selling physical products. And when I went to print my shipping label, my address was on there. And I don't know who the person was that purchased the first planner when I launched the very first time, but they knew where I lived at, and I did not like that. And I found out that you actually need a PO box for your return address in case they need to return a product or if the product gets lost in shipping or something like that. So get you a PO box. Get you a PO box if you are planning on shipping anything. And that leads me to the next thing. You need to know who your shipping company is going to be with. So I use USPS. They have mixed reviews about the experience with USPS, but they have different options. You could do DHL, you could do FedEx, you could do UPS. Just pick which one you want to do. The reason why I did USPS is because of this. I'm gonna get it real quick. The reason why I did USPS is because it's already a lot when you're shipping your first product, but they have these padded envelopes where you can actually pay one cost and ship your planner in this little thing and put your little shipping label on there. Now there's some people, they like to have like the pretty packaging, they like to put it in like the little boxes, and like you can do all of that. Don't get me wrong, you could do that, but if you are brand new to shipping stuff, keep it easy. Keep it simple. Whenever you don't use the flat rate shipping padded envelope, whatever you call this, whenever you don't use that, you have to weigh your own product. You have to weigh like how much the whole package costs. And although I have like the scale and everything, because I didn't know what I was gonna need when I first started shipping, although I purchased all that stuff, it's just easier if you know this is one set rate and then you can move on to the next thing. So that's personally why I have been using USPS. You also need to get something for your shipping label. As I'm doing this, I'm realizing that I need to show a lot of stuff in here. Okay, so in reference to shipping labels, you want to purchase something like this. This is by Munbin. I'll drop the link to this to purchase this from Amazon in my description box. But this prints out my shipping labels, and it's a little dusty because I ain't used it in a while. But you use this to print off your shipping labels. And I also have the printer paper. It comes with like a stack whenever you purchase this. And so you basically just put the paper inside of this. And then whenever you plug it into your computer and everything, whenever you get to the labels, you hit print and it'll just print it out. It'll be the right size. And it's stickers. So you would just peel this off. I'm gonna just show you. You would just peel this off and then you would put this, matter of fact, because this ain't going nowhere. I got a ton of these. So we're gonna pretend like there's an address and all that on there. You just slap that bad boy on here, boom, and now you're done. And then you need to know what your packaging is going to be if you are deciding to like be all fancy and have like the boxes and stuff. But you want to go ahead and start getting that stuff, or at least knowing where you're going to be purchasing that stuff from, and set up you a bank account. If you don't already have a business bank account, then you need to set up you a business bank account, so that way all the money that you get in your sales from your planners and journals, you will have a bank account specifically for that, because you don't want to mingle up your product sales or your business sales with your personal sales. So if this is your first time selling anything, like if this is your first business or your first product, you definitely want to make sure that you get some type of separated bank account. Do not use your personal account whenever you are planning on selling your products. So after you have set up your proper systems, now it's time to do a planner shoot. And in order to do your planner shoot, you're going to need to make sure that you get some key shots. So the more pictures, the better, because you don't know which pictures you're going to like when you go back through them. I personally do my planner shoots through my phone, and I also have my DSLR camera from when I was a photographer. This takes the good pictures. So regardless, if you don't have one of those, get it done how you get it done and work with what you got. Okay, just figure it out. But you want to do a planner shoot so that way people can know what the physical product looks like. People try to skip this step, and I'm gonna tell you something. If you try to do a digital mock-up for a physical product that you are trying to sell, it is not gonna do as good as you think. You are trying to cut corners, and you are going to get cut corner results. Okay, because unless you're selling a digital product, if you're trying to sell a physical product and you can't even show them what it's physically going to look like in real life, then we have bigger issues going on the back end. Okay, get you a physical planner and do your planner shoot. You want to get a couple pictures of you using the planner or flipping through the planner. You want to get different pictures of different pages that's inside of the planner. You want to make sure that you get all your important pictures done before you start writing in it. But eventually you do want to write in your planner and record you writing in your planner, so that way that'll be short form content. So just giving you a variety of different things. You want to get one holding the planner. I don't know if I said that already. You also want to get like a flat lay almost picture of it on the desk with different props and stuff around it. So one of the things that I did was I took my pink keyboard, because I have a pink keyboard in my office and I have a pink mouse, and I just basically curated a cute little flat lay setup with just different things that I had already. Make sure that when you are doing your photo shoot, you take tons of pictures. I cannot advocate for you to do this enough. When you think you've taken enough pictures, before you move on to the next step, make sure you look at those pictures, because you might need to do it again depending on how the pictures turned out. You want to make sure you get as many as possible, because this is how you're going to be promoting your planners on social media. I was just talking to y'all and my camera just completely cut off. I ran out of room, but I'm back. So now that you're done doing your planner shoot, now you can start planning out your promo content. So this is when you're going to be writing the actual verbiage for your planner promotions. Now, the good thing is, when I launched my planners the very first time years ago, we didn't have ChatGPT. Now we have ChatGPT, and you can literally put what your planner is about, what's included in your planner, and ChatGPT will help you with those descriptions in the sales copy. So that's one of the benefits. If you don't use ChatGPT, go ahead and start using it, because it will save you a lot of time. But you want to have the sales copy for your sales page. You also want to go ahead and write out your promotions for your social media. So whenever you do post like a reel or a TikTok, you want to have verbiage that's going to be attached to that. You want to go ahead and plan out what your launch post is going to be. You want to plan out what your post after that is going to be, that's going to be pushing your products and any other type of promotions that you plan on doing. So what I would recommend you plan out is short form promotion and longer detailed promotions. So the short form promotions is like you're just doing a couple sentences and you're just like, hey, don't forget to pre-order my planner, and like maybe throw in a couple lines and a quick call to action of how to pre-order. And then the long form ones are going to be a little bit more detail about why this person needs this planner, what's going to be included, like all that type of stuff. You want to have both, so that way you can kind of sprinkle in different ones at different times. If you have an email list, this is a great time for you to go ahead and start creating your promo emails that you're going to be sending out to your list. And you also want to plan out your YouTube content. So if you plan on promoting your planners and journals on your YouTube channel, then you want to go ahead and start coming up with some video ideas that you can create videos on that will allow you to easily plug your new product. And that leads me to the last step of your launch. You ready to launch, girl? You ready to launch? And this basically just means you are ready to open cart. You are ready to start your campaign. And the last thing I want to share as a bonus tip is to give yourself grace. This is new for you. I know you bust your tail to get your planner or journal created because people don't realize it's a long process when you are creating a physical product, but you made it to the end, girl. You have a physical planner that you can flip through and look at what you've done, look at your hard work, and that is going to serve your audience. It is really going to help other people. Give yourself some grace at the beginning stages of this and just pat yourself on the back just for even creating something so special and unique, and allow yourself the time and ability to grow. So I hope that this was helpful for you guys. Make sure you watch my video on why you need a YouTube channel if you are creating and selling planners, so that way you can at least have some type of marketing strategy along with your planner that you plan on selling. But anyways, this video is already long. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.